Good morning. A dramatic start to the week coming from Turkey. Oil in trouble waters. COVID costing once again. Here's the breakdown. The Dow closed down 0.7% Friday after hitting a high of 33,200, while the Nasdaq and Russell tried to claw back some of their weekly losses. Yields continue up, and tonight we'll have the weekly 3- and 6-month bond auctions to see if the trend continues. That'll be followed by some commentary from FOMC members. The Canadian dollar seems least hit counter currency this morning after the nation's January retail sales surprised to the upside with a 1.1% contraction, a third of the cut feared. As we can see, the US Canadian dollar is just coming out of a second attempt to break down into the lower Bollinger Band. The RSI is positive and bullish volumes are rising, so we're probably looking for some further upside. Very cautiously, though, as we await Fed Head Powell's press conference at 1 GMT, followed by home sales at 2. Reuters reports some pandemonium in European markets this morning after Turkish Pasha Erdogan replaced his central bank governor with someone more amenable to lowering interest rates. The lira, of course, crashed. As markets closed Friday, European indices lost about 1% across the board. February's German producer inflation missed the 2% mark year-on-year by a tick as the monthly figure fell from 1.4% in January to 0.7%. In the UK, North Ireland's Brandon Lewis warned Britain's Johnson that unionist fervour could get threatening if the Brexit sea border between the Isle and the UK isn't scrapped. He called on unionists to think twice about the 1998 Good Friday Accords. Also Friday, British Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, said the G7 had agreed to boost IMF funding for the world's poorest countries. Meanwhile, Russia's central bank raised its core interest rate by 0.25% to 4.5%. Later this morning, Germany will be auctioning off some year-long bonds, and the central bank will deliver its monthly report at 11. Then more auctions, this time in France at 2, with the ECB's Isabel Schnabel talking at 3:15. Chinese diplomats Friday said talks with their U.S. counterparts had been constructive, despite U.S. condescension, as they put it. Another Chinese official said the talks highlighted the need for better crisis management. Chinese markets are up this morning, except the Hang Seng, which is down 0.33%, and the Nikkei seems to have lost over 2% over the session. The Australian dollar is down 0.33% this morning as coal exports grind to a halt. Floods in the Hunter Valley are holding up transport, and pits are flooding. The yen is tracking the dollar up this morning after China's central bank decided to hold its interest rate level at 3.85%. That makes it a year of steady rates for the People's Bank of China. Sorry. Against the Aussie, we have a pair that could be seen as quite bearish. The week's pivots are much closer than last week's, and the RSI is quite pessimistic. Well, if you're going there, look out overnight for Japan's core CPI at 5 tomorrow morning, and credit card spending data from New Zealand. Gold seems to have lost its luster, a 2-week momentum failing to regain Thursday's 1750 foothold as the dollar gains on flying bonds. And oil dropped fiercely after Friday's Baker Hughes report of a soaring rig count. WTI plunged $5 a barrel to bounce off of 15.9 and has since been gaining some traction, but those lockdowns are hurting Brent bad. With Germany extending its lockdowns and Italy returning to years of yore, we can see the MACD preparing to cross below its signal, as those 3 dodgies this morning show absolutely no inclination to cross above the moving average. Which brings us to corporate news. Aramco yesterday said that the price of COVID to its income was a 44% drop in 2020. Speaking to investors, CEO Amin Nasser said the company's highest priority for now was supplying the needs of China's growing economy. And AMD swears it will not be preventing its new video cards from Bitcoin mining. Recently, NVIDIA installed a limiter on some of its chips as mining continues to be a power drain in many developing nations. That's all for today. Definitely not for this week. Adieu till tomorrow.